closest in my circle? Who the one who be the snakes? Who gon' fold up under pressure? Who gon' understand the stakes? Who gon' wait to get their food to try to take from off my plate? Who the love? Who gon' understand I'm hurt? Who gon' love me unconditionally and try to make it work? Who gon' party once I'm gone and shed a tear once I'm in dirt? I ain't asking for too much, I'm trying to understand my work.
Welcome to the next episode of Give Me My Crown podcast.
Give Me My Crown podcast.
Once again, I'm Antonio.
I'm Anson.
And you see we brought back our boy.
We had to bring him back.
I'm Damien.
All right, so today, like we said, we're going to bring y'all a lot of hot topics, a lot of stuff going on in the world, a lot of stuff going on in the economy. And one thing right now that everybody has a question about is, what is the housing market doing?
That's right.
So as we know, the housing market, or I'm a realtor. Damien is a mortgage loan officer. So we're going to kind of talk about it from both perspectives, kind of what we see going on, and kind of how we see the trend going as far as on the mortgage side and on the realtor side
and consumer side.
Obviously, because obviously the consumer is the ones that. The consumer is the one that obviously drives the business.
That's right.
Because obviously you got to have a consumer to buy the house. So
house to buy.
So, Anson, let's start with you. You're the consumer.
Yeah.
So I know you always looking to capitalize to buy a house, whether it's whether you're looking for a foreclosure property, whether you're looking for property for yourself, whatever you're looking for. So kind of tell me from your perspective what you have seen as you're searching for houses.
So you want to know like some of the research I've done, or just some?
No, just from your perspective.
For me, I look at stuff from a common sense standpoint. So I look at right now, we steadily building houses, right? Everybody building houses everywhere.
Yeah.
So I personally betting on the market going down. Like I'm hoping it go down. That's just my hope, my wish to make, if I want to buy investment properties or I want to buy anything, it's going to be cheaper.
So when you say go down, what do you mean?
Okay, so that's why I asked, can I do my research in there a little bit?
Go ahead.
I read a lot.
Yeah. Goldman
Sachs is saying that on the East Coast it's going to be a soft like flipping. Like it's going to be like 1% or 2%. Houses ain't going to drop dramatically. Like it's not going to go back to pre-COVID prices.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't like that news. I want stuff to fall down. That way, like, people who want to buy for whatever can just buy homes. So, I'm just hoping that, foreclosures happen. Sorry for everybody who bought homes $100,000 over what they were priced at or appraised at. But I'm hoping, those go on the market for cheaper. I mean, one man's mistake is another man's gain. That's just what it is, So, if I can get me a mansion for $300,000, $400,000, I'll take it.
I don't see that happen.
That ain't gonna happen. But it's wishful thinking, man. But and like DJ Khaled said, God did. If God want me to get a mansion for $300,000, I'm just gonna say God did.
So I do think, I think we talked about this on a couple podcasts ago when we talked about mortgages. I do think a lot of people overpaid for houses, which I do think is going to play some role into the flipping of the market. But I think the market the market is not a seller's market anymore. It is turned into a buyer's market, or slowly turning into a buyer's market, because it's still not 100% like buyers get what they want.
Oh yeah,
because it's almost. It may be leaning a little towards the buyer side, but it's almost even, because now it's obviously, like I said, year and a half ago, the buyer was at the seller's mercy at that point. Yeah. Now the buyer has flexibility into what they want and like the terms that they can work out.
And people look at interest rates and get scared, right?
Yeah, see, I do think
that don't scare me though. Like,
see, I get it, because obviously, I think Damien talked about this last time. Yeah. Now is always the right time to buy, because if you buy with the high interest rate, you can always refinance. If you buy with the low interest rate, but you overpay for the house,
like people did last year,
yes, you can't refinance that house because
you're not gonna get that rate. and you're not going to get the value of the house.
Yeah, exactly, because it's not going to appraise for what you paid for.
Yep.
So if you have a 3% interest rate, but interest rates now are 3.5%.
Yeah.
You can't, even if you refinance, you can't.
Yep.
Or if you want to refinance, you can. So if you can't afford to pay for that house, now you're upside down. Now you either got to sell or you're going into foreclosure.
That's right. I mean, so I don't know which one better. You know, if you got to sell, the bank get it, and people can't sell it in time, it becomes a foreclosure, then I get it. You know what I'm saying? Because I heard the rent market is supposed to be extremely high now.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
People looking to rent, like maybe in 2 years or a year, I'll let you book.
Yeah, because like you just said, is you can either let the banks, or it can either go into foreclosure. You can try to sell it. The problem with trying to sell it is you're already under.
Yep.
So if you got a house that you paid $800,000 for, but the house is only worth $700,000, you can list the house for $800,000 all you want to.
You ain't getting it.
But the house, even if the house, if you don't sell in time and it goes into foreclosure, that's a foreclosure.
Yeah.
If you are only offered $700,000, $750,000, you got to decide: do you take that and still make pay, and somehow come up with that other $100,000 or $50,000, or do you take the loss? So it's a numbers game. So you got to decide.
Yep.
Pretty much, you got to decide your fate.
You got Damien, jump in. What you think, Damien?
What do you think from a mortgage standpoint, or from a loan officer standpoint? What do you think, and what do you see happening?
Well, the market is shifting, right? So it's like you said, it's becoming more of a buyer's market. But it's not 100% buyer. Like the sellers aren't at the mercy of a buyer. It's an even split now. It's kind of like where it was right before COVID happened, before the pandemic and everything, where people are negotiating on houses. You got a few people offering on a house with you, but it's not like, you see a house listed today and 35 offers come in tonight. That's not happening anymore. So you get some more favorable comps. I mean, if you're going to buy a house, talk to your real estate agent, talk to the sellers. Listen, I like the house. I want to buy it. I'd like you to cover some of my closing costs. Invest more money in your down payment. Negotiate the price. They list the house for $350,000. You say, look, I like the house, but I don't want to pay more than $330,000. Let's make this make sense. This is something you can do now, because 6 months ago,
yeah, and you can always. I ain't gonna say. So I guess I shouldn't say always. If you have a realtor, and obviously your realtor is going to tell you what's best for you. When a house is for sale, when you any
Time out.
hold on, any offer you submit, as long as it's reasonable, that seller is going to look at that offer. So if it's reasonable enough, then obviously they can counter. So I would highly recommend, if you like a house and you can come close to what they're asking, always submit that offer and at least see what they say.
Every realtor ain't you, man.
Huh?
that's true. Because I was gonna say, man,
Yeah.
I had a lady 7 months ago. She saw this house. She was in love with the house. They wanted $250,000 for the house. Never forget this. They wanted $250,000 for the house. She could only afford $240,000. I said, well, look, submit the offer for $240,000.
Yeah.
She submitted the offer for $240,000. They did not accept. She was upset. We went on looking. 30 days went by. What did we notice? That house was still there. She said, oh, Damien, should I submit for $240,000? I said, oh, no. It's been 30 days. Submit for less now and see what they say. And they accepted the lesser offer at this point.
Wow.
They did. And she submitted an offer for $225,000 and they accepted it.
Well, see, because that's the problem. Once you submit that first offer, if that seller or that seller's agent rejects that offer is no longer good.
Okay.
That's just like if I see a house for $500,000 and I submit, say I submit $480,000. They come back and say $490,000. My $480,000 offer is no longer good. So even if they come back later, that $480,000 offer is no longer good because they rejected that offer when they countered.
So can they ask, like, hey, you said $480,000 first time, can we go back and do it $480,000?
Well, they can submit another counter
Okay,
to that or they can submit another offer for that $480,000.
Yeah.
But once they reject it, that offer is off the table at that point.
Okay.
So that's why when you get when you're listing a house when you're listing a house with a real estate agent, first of all, your real estate agent is supposed to tell you every single offer that you get. Okay. So once they tell you the offer that you get, it's so some people will submit what they call times of the essence, which means, hey, I need an answer by this day. And sometimes it's within 24 hours after they submit the offer. So it's the real estate agent's job to get that offer to them as quick as possible. But it's also the real estate agent's job to guide them and say, like, if the house has been on the market for 60 days and this offer is $20,000 less, the agent may say, hey, you might want to accept this offer. Or it could be that once they get that offer, the real estate agent could, or if, like, say it's been, because now the average time house on the market is about 32 days. Okay. So anything within 30 to 50 days is about average now. So once you leave, so during that time, you're not really at the mercy of the buyer to accept $30,000 less. Obviously, unless it's like when you get up in the millions, you're talking 100,000. You can offer 100,000 less, and they'll take it. Whereas if you're under 500, 30, 20,000 is a big difference. Yeah. So like instead of jumping on the first offer or completely rejecting that first offer quick, it's always good to look at multiple offers first if you're getting them before you either reject or accept.
Okay. You said the average house is on the market, what, 32 days?
I think it's 32 days.
Damien, what was it 6 months ago?
I think it was like 6 days.
Yes.
Okay.
5 days, man. It was less than a week. Yeah.
So my projection is quarter 3 and 4, which would put us over the halfway mark of the year, right?
Yeah.
I think there will be a 20,000. My number going to be 20,000 decrease in homes.
So the reason I don't see that, it depends on which homes you're talking about. Because when you look at resale homes, people are, like, even homes now, people bought these houses 3 or 4 years ago and they're trying to sell them now for $300,000 and $400,000 more than what they paid for them 3 or 4 years ago. So even if they sell them houses, say a house a year ago was $800,000, today they sell it for $1 million, whereas if a year ago they could have sold it for 1.2, they're still winning. Yeah. So I think some people look at that and say, is it a decrease in the market? And I think it's hard to tell, because either if you're comparing it to when they originally bought the house, it's still an increase in the market. If you're comparing it to prime COVID time, it is a decrease in the market. Yeah. But I think it depends on kind of what you're comparing it to.
Okay.
So the big thing, and I'll throw this out, the big thing is the average person is looking for what we call a starter home. Starter home today is a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. Yeah.
Okay.
1990, a starter home was $100,000. Early 2000, starter home was $200,000.
Yeah.
Today, that starter home is $350,000.
Okay.
Yeah, because today you're not. It's almost impossible to get into a house.
Yeah.
That, especially if you got kids, because obviously if you got kids, you want a yard, and today you need at least 2 bathrooms.
Yeah.
And you need probably at least 3 bedrooms. So you have to be willing, first of all, to pay to pay the money for the house, but you got to be able to afford it.
Yep.
Because, like I said, even with interest rates high now, even if you're on like the brink, but you can't afford it, but you're on the brink, you can always refinance.
Yep.
If interest rates go down, or when they go down.
Interest rates are going back down.
Yeah, they are.
They're not going to go back to the pandemic. The pandemic was a once in a lifetime kind of thing where, hey, people losing jobs because they can't go to work because we don't know what to do. So the only way to stimulate money is significantly reduce the rates. Rates ain't going back down to that 2.99. People bought a house that got a 1.99 interest rate.
They better stay in that house.
They're going to stay in that house to the day they die.
They will never refinance.
I was about to say, you never can refinance it.
They will never, because it doesn't benefit them. Because even if they try to refinance to pull money out,
don't say that. Don't say that.
What?
Cash is always king.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say, if you're pulling cash, so if I bought my house for $350 and I got a 1.99. Say that my, everything I'm paying is $1,400 a month, but my other debts that I'm paying is an additional $2,000. If I can pull out the equity in my house and clear out this other, $2,000 a month and raise my mortgage payment, hell, I'll raise my mortgage payment $800.
Yeah.
I'm winning at that point.
Okay.
Interest rate means nothing.
That's exactly where I was about to go with that.
Yeah, interest rate means nothing to you.
Because especially if you got equity in the home, you can always pull it out. But you can also do a HELOC, which is a home equity line of credit.
Yeah.
And that's borrowing money to the value that pretty much based on the value of your house.
Yeah, the only problem with a HELOC is the rules. HELOCs are technically a home equity line of credit. They are good for 10 years, 2 months. After 10 years, 2 months, it becomes a loan. Typically, that loan is 25 years. So the first 10 years, 2 months, all you're paying is the interest.
Yeah.
So if you're wise and you do it the right way, you can pay more and then, find a sweet spot, refinance and get it all done.
But that's also based on if you spend that money.
That is true if you spend it.
Because you don't pay it. You can have that money sitting there for 5 years and never use it, and you never have to pay it back. But the moment you pull it out is when you got to pay it back.
So you're saying basically, if I pull it out, I got to have a for sure way it's going to make money for me.
Basically, it's a credit card against your house.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, you can use it for, a lot of people use them for income properties or, renovations, income properties, whatever. And
because a HELOC is going to be better than what the mortgage rate is
yes,
for interest rate on an investment property.
Yes, because because when you get that HELOC, when you have that HELOC, if you're going to buy a rental property or an income property, you can always say, I got cash. And obviously cash is king. You can
buy a house for about 15% less than what the asking price is when you do it cash.
Yeah.
If you see a house, let's make it
$200,000.
$1 million. Say $1 million.
$1 million. You see a house for $1 million. If I'm coming in and I have to get a loan, and I'm offering $970, $980. Say I'm offering $980, but I got a loan. Somebody else coming in offering $950, but they got cash. So some are more likely to take that cash because there's less stipulations.
Gotcha.
There's less stipulations. There's less time to get their money.
Yes.
And they don't have to worry about it not actually going through because always with the loan, until you get what's called a clear to close, there's a chance that loan may not go through.
Yeah. And that clear to close don't come to what, 3 days prior? Or a week? I think it's about a week.
About a week prior to the closing date. So,
because you're supposed to get it if I'm not mistaken, I think it's 3 days prior to the closing.
You got to get your CD 3 days.
Yes.
It's got to be 3 days from the date you sign your CD. So typically, most companies are going to send it out 3 days prior, 4 days prior to your closing date. Have everybody sign and have their rescission period.
Okay.
Yeah, and there are actually some mortgage companies that will get it's a loan, but it's considered a cash.
There's
because Damien,
my company does.
The company offers that.
Yeah, we offer. It's called our Buyer Accept. But there are other companies that offer something like Ribbon, where they go in and they buy the home cash. So you're submitting like a cash offer. Yeah. But there's a loan on the back end, but you have somebody financing it. So.
And it looks to the seller, it looks better because
looks like straight cash.
It's just cash. So like I said, they don't have to. A lot of times with cash offers, you don't have to worry about appraisal because most of the time that whoever that real estate agent is going to make sure that the comps at least match what you're paying.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because you don't want to see a house for $1 million. The comps in the neighborhood show that the house is worth $700, and they're going to let you pay $900.
Okay.
That's for one. Either you don't have a good real estate agent, or you don't have a real estate agent at all.
And I was going to talk about that, man. I'm going to ask you that question. Like, with the market kind of turning, right?
Yeah.
You need the right real estate agent to work for you, right?
Yes.
Because you said before, you like a real estate agent to do this, real estate agent to do that. If I ain't got a good real estate agent, they ain't gonna do that for me.
Correct. I mean, because you want to have a real estate agent that's, first of all, it is once you sign the buyer's agreement, it's your real estate agent's job to go to bat for you.
Okay.
Like it's their job to work for you. their number one job is to do what's in your best interest.
Okay.
Even if they know the other real estate agents, they're friends with them, whatever. Their job, if they hire you as their real estate agent, is to work for them.
Okay.
So your job is to find them what they're looking for, and when you submit an offer, give them the best advice. Now, at the end of the day, what they want to do is going to trump what you suggest. So if I see a house for 800, or if they looking at a house for 800, they say I want to offer 750. I said, well, I think it's best you offer about 780. If they say, I want to try 750, you roll with the 750.
Yeah.
But then when it comes back and they're rejecting, they're upset, you can always look at them. You don't have to be rude, but you can say, hey, that's why I said let's offer 780, because based on the way the market is going, because you always have to. First of all, you always have to be professional. Even if somebody, I've dropped clients in the past because they got mad at me. Because, true story, the guy wanted to submit an offer on the house. He asked me, hey, and this was during pandemic times. And he said, what is the offer? What do you think I should submit? I said, hey, let's submit this. And I said, I think you should do this amount in due diligence. He said, well, I'm going to do this. And it was about $5,000 less than what I said he should do. And then he said, let's do this in due diligence. That was about $2,000 less than what I said he should do. And then they completely rejected the offer. And then he said, well, why are they rejecting my offer? I said, you didn't have a strong offer. I said, compared to what the market is now, I said, your offer was weak. And he was like, well, I feel you didn't go to bat for me. I said, I told you exactly what to offer. I said, I told you what to offer in due diligence, and I told you what to offer on the listing, and you completely said, well, I want to do this. And I said, it's my job to give you suggestions, but whatever you want to do, that's what I'm here to do. If you say you want to offer $300,000 less, I'm going to I'm going to tell you not to do it, but if you want to do it, my job is to do what you want me to do. Yeah. As far as when it comes to offers and things like that. And that's why as a seller, when you get an offer, you talk to your real estate agent, hey, should I accept this offer? You tell them the pros and cons of accepting that offer if it's not at asking, and then you at the end of the day is their decision. Okay. So it's like, for instance, when I was selling my house, my last house, we had a real estate agent because I wasn't licensed at the time. We received an offer before the house even hit the market, and it was over asking. So I went to our real estate agent. Hey, what do we do with? We got an offer that's over asking already. She said it's completely up to you. She said, but if you're getting an offer like this before the house even hits the market, she said, what do you think is going to happen once the house hits the market? She said, if you want to accept the offer, she said, I'll let them know. She said, if you want to tell them, hey, let's wait till the house hits the market, we can do that. So I said, yeah, let's wait till the house hits the market. And once the house hits the market, we got multiple offers over asking.
So at the right time, really did.
Oh, yeah.
You caught that pandemic, boy, That's smart, though. All right, my question. If I'm looking to buy investment property in this market, not right now, I'm on Q3 and Q4 this year, hoping that it's going to change. Do you pick an area that's going to be gentrified in the future, or do you pick up somebody that's like a foreclosure?
It depends. Do you want a long-term investment, or do you want money right now? Okay. Because me and Paul. Yeah. Me and Paul talk about it all the time. Where we first started working at, if we would have bought houses over there 10 years ago, we would be sitting on millions right now. Literally millions. Yeah. So it's like, if you see gentrification happening now is the time to buy. If you can get in cheap.
I think when you see it's too late.
It depends though. Because you got some of these people, they're older people, or either they're people who are living there. You can go knock on their door. Hey, I'll give you $70,000 for your, or $100,000 for your house right now. And some people be like, they've never seen that much money at one time. Yeah. And they paid $40,000 for the house or 60 years ago. Yeah. So you showed them $100,000. Okay. They move out. You could probably sell that. You could probably sell that property the day they move out for $150,000 because it's the land. Especially in the Charlotte area, anything near uptown now
Yes.
is crazy. All those areas are going through gentrification. So it's like a lot of those areas that used to be bad back in the day. You used to have these rundown houses. People, for one, the way they're doing it, the taxes, other people are moving in, the taxes are rising. So the people that live there can't afford the taxes.
Okay.
So when you got investors coming in, showing them this money, they're like, at that point, for one, they don't have a reason, or they don't have the means to stay because they can't afford the new taxes. Because a lot of these people, to be real about it, are on a fixed income because they've been living there forever. So when you mess up their fixed income and raise their taxes, they can't afford it. They got to move and find somewhere else. So it's like it's almost like a predator and prey game.
It is. I
mean, like you got to know when to buy, where to buy, and then when you do it, you're not necessarily, how do I put it? You're not necessarily getting over on. I mean, in a sense, you are getting over on them because you know you're buying the house for a lot less than what it's worth.
Yeah.
But you're also, I guess, helping them out in the long run.
Yeah.
Because if they don't pay those taxes, the house gets foreclosed.
Yep.
Even if it's paid off, then it becomes
and the city comes
belong. Yes.
Yeah, the city, man. I want to talk about the cities because once they get it, they make deals, man.
Because I mean, I'm actually looking at some now, because, like you said, you got to buy in the right spot at the right time.
Yeah.
Right now, Charlotte market it depends on where you buy. You got to be able to come in at the right spot. But where you live at, up in Greensboro area, great with Apple coming, all those big companies coming.
Talking about Raleigh way.
Oh, it's
Raleigh.
Okay. Yeah. So up there, where all those big companies, I think Greensboro is getting some big companies too. Is Toyota?
They got Toyota coming to Greensboro.
Okay. Yep. So that's gonna bring a lot of jobs. So we're buying in that area right now before they come. If you're able to hold on to it for the long term, I think it's the perfect time to buy.
Yeah.
Especially if you can do some, like I said, if you own a house, if you could do a HELOC loan, use that HELOC to buy an investment property.
Okay.
Or because, Damien, I think we asked you before, your company does renovation loans, right?
Yep, we do renovations. Mm-hmm.
So that's another good way to get into it. Obviously, with the renovation loan, what is it? Conventional, more than likely.
Yeah, you have two types of loans. Yeah, the Reno loan through conventional, or the FHA 203K loans.
And VA will not do a renovation loan, correct?
Yeah, no. VA won't do any type of renovation, any type of investments.
Okay. Now, what about, because I know there's I don't know if you would know about this. There is a business VA loan.
That's a commercial.
So that's completely different. Okay. That's kind of what I figured, but I wasn't 100% sure. Like I said, you work in the mortgage industry.
You can get a commercial VA loan.
Yeah, you can get a business loan for the VA. You can get a business loan with the VA.
Sign me up for the military today. I'm gonna serve.
Where
2 years.
Where you going?
Huh?
What branch you going to?
He will go to Air Force.
Okay.
That's the Chair Force, right?
Yeah.
They call it Chair
Force.
Force.
Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I'm all for the Chair Force, man. I can make some decisions from the chair.
So, Damien, what do you see? What do you see interest rates doing? Do you see them kind of staying stagnant for a while, or do you see them dropping?
They're starting to drop. So understand where the rates are right now. Getting back to the high to mid fives now, which is good. So it's starting to go back down, but it's starting to stabilize out.
Okay.
The goal is probably going to be get down to the low fives at some point throughout the year. But that's kind of where it's going to stabilize, because that's where everything was before.
Do the feds raise them again or not?
No.
Raise? Okay.
So let me ask you a question. If, say, the average interest rate is 5 now, or high fives,
mm-hmm.
Is that on a new house, or is that on a refinance, or is it the same thing?
No, it's different.
So if I'm at a high 5 now and I want to refinance, what is, I guess, is there a number?
If you bought a house between July of last year,
mm-hmm.
Anytime July last year and later, you're going to want to refinance. As a matter of fact, whatever company did your loan should probably be calling you when you get close to that year mark to refinance you, because those are people that were in the high 6s, 7s, some people even the 8s. So we already know your rate high.
Yeah.
We ready to call you and be like, hey, man, I know you don't even care, but let's refinance this loan and get it to the 5%.
Because even when I bought my house, I bought at a bad time. Well, I didn't buy at a bad time.
You didn't buy it. You closed at a bad time.
I closed at a bad time because it took a while to build the house.
We don't know why, man.
Hey, listen,
we check it on like every day.
A little longer than normal.
Hey, listen. So I'm going to tell you, if you are doing a new build, okay, there are horror stories behind it, because Antonio here started when rates were in like the 3s.
Yes.
And he closed when the rates were in the 5s.
And my initial rate was low 3s, and when I closed, it was. But I'm the type of person, when I do my budget, I always go for the high end. So I'm like, all right, this is how much I can afford on a house. So I told my wife, I said, yo, if rates get up to this point, because she's looking at me, she's like, hey, our interest rate from time we got pre-approved is up 2%. I'm like, no, we're good. I said, I calculated that in.
Yeah.
And she's like, what do you mean? I said, being me, I severely overcalculated. So I'm like, I can afford up to this. If it gets over this, we're going to have to find something else, because I always stick to budget, for one. And because I have $1 going everywhere. So I'm like, I always stick to budget. So if it gets above this, we're going to have to find something else, because I don't want to get to a point where I'm taking money from somewhere else, from savings, investing, wherever, to pay for this house.
Yeah.
And so that's where a financial coach comes in at. Because
and who do we know as a financial coach?
Huh?
Who do we know as a financial coach?
I don't know. Who do you know?
I think his name is Antonio.
Okay.
Just saying, you know.
Hit me up. I can help you get to that point where you have your dollars going here. And I've helped a couple people out. I don't think I ever gave y'all. I ain't never
did everybody, man.
I ain't never sat down and did a budget with y'all.
But listen, man. But we call duty players. During them games, we talking about budget. We talking about finance. We talking about everything. And you ain't helped us on those. You know what I'm saying? Talking about money. You know.
And I mean, I try to give people the free game.
Free game.
They don't want to listen. And then
free game.
We're not gonna talk about those people, man.
But yeah, if you need a financial coach, hit me up. If you need a realtor, hit me up. Best of both worlds. I can help you buy the house and help you save the money to buy the house.
Yeah, and that's right.
And make sure you can afford it. We'll want you to get nothing.
You can see
afford.
somebody from beginning to end.
Yes.
You know, if you're looking to buy a house a year out, go see my man Antonio.
Yeah, I can help you get to that point where you're able to afford that house. And then once you get to the point where, okay, then we hit up Damien. Damien can get you approved for that house.
That's right.
And then once you get the house,
well, you're going to have some bugs. When them bugs come, just call me.
Doesn't matter whether it's a new house or old house.
I'm going to tell you something, right? It don't matter, bro. Bugs always going to be here. Global warming is a pest control business best friend.
Especially when you buy a new house.
It ain't just new houses, man.
I'm just
think about it, man. It's wintertime, right? You see no snow?
Yeah.
Boy, every pest control company happy right now. Ain't no bugs down, you know?
Yeah, because I mean, in really any house you're gonna have some kind of bug, but with a new house you're gonna have spiders.
Oh, I got my house ain't new and I got spiders.
You got spiders
at the same time.
You got
spiders and ants.
You got ants.
Yes.
Boy,
you're gonna have if it's a new house, you're gonna have mice, because especially field mice, because they're running because especially if you live close to woods, you're gonna have all those critters, bugs, centipedes, spiders.
Yep.
So those things are on the golf course?
Huh?
Those things are on the golf course?
I don't know.
I mean,
especially spiders.
They ain't actually on the golf course. They just know it's new build.
Yeah, my wife don't do spiders. Kids don't do spiders.
Nope.
I don't do spiders, but they don't bother me as much.
You don't do mice, boy.
Huh?
You don't do no mice.
I don't do field mice.
Yeah, you don't do
at
no
all.
type of mice.
So if you, I remember you asked me to come work for you before.
Yeah,
nah, you good.
I mean, as we expand, man, you know what I'm saying? I might need some help.
Yeah, I'll help you financially. So I know we talked about a lot. Do either one of y'all plan on getting into investment properties within the next year?
Hands down, man.
Nah, not me.
You don't. So me and Paul actually talked about this.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of we're starting to look into a bunch of like tax liens.
Yeah.
Some of these houses are going for $14,000-$15,000
Because of taxes?
Because of taxes.
Oh, bro, sign me up.
That is good though, right there.
But the house next door just sold for $190,000.
Yeah.
$180,000. Even if the house is going for $50,000, you got to pay $50,000 for. But if the house next door just sold for $150,000,
Yep.
the day you pay off those tax liens closing that house. Now there's other stipulations behind it.
Yeah.
But every county has a website of houses that are tax lien, and you can go to the courthouse, bid on them, and then some of those houses obviously need work. Some of them need a lot more work than others. But if you look at if you have a real estate agent and you have them look at the comps in the area, if it can justify, you can make a bunch even after you renovate. Some of these houses you can buy for $50,000, put $100,000 into it, but then turn around and sell for $200,000.
Or buy the house, hold on to it. Somebody want to buy it as is.
Well, I tell you, so the one thing I tell everybody when it comes to investments, right? I always say this, and this is just my personal thing. Buy investments in college towns. The reason you buy investment in college town,
Be somewhere to stay.
you will always have tenants.
That's true. Especially if you buy close to a college.
Yep.
Close to a college. Because who gonna pay that bill? They parents.
Yep.
And
sometimes the school will
They financial aid. Yep.
No. The school will actually rent from you. Yep.
Especially if they don't have enough dorms on campus.
Yep.
Another thing that some people sleep on, and I'm gonna tell you, 9 to 5 millionaire.
Oh, that's right, Jamal King.
He talks about this. Section 8.
Yep.
That is a guaranteed rent.
Guaranteed rent.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Everybody knows somebody's on Section 8 already.
Yes.
Yep.
Shout out Jamal King.
Jamal King, man.
He became rich off of it, and
Didn't even know he was rich.
exactly didn't even know he was rich, and got rich off investment property.
I'm gonna tell you something, Tony. You a big dude, like work out right. I met this dude in person, bro. That man looked like he a walking muscle.
Dang.
I ain't lying. He's super good, like as far as speaking, super good and super passionate about real estate.
Oh yeah.
That's when I still got it in my phone. He had a projection up, was breaking down like how to make money off rental properties.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, this dude just broke this down so simple.
Yeah, I mean he give you the game.
Yep,
He tell you
Yep.
exactly what he did, and it's not like the way he did it. You don't need to be rich to start.
Exactly, man.
That's because you got some of these people that are telling you how to get rich, but they're already rich,
Yep.
and you need money to get where they get.
They tell you how to start. If you got $500,000, just throw out there.
Yeah, and he's telling you like, yo, if you got very little money,
Yep.
this is what you do. This is how you get to this
Yep.
point. And obviously it worked for him because he tells you from step one, yo, this is what I started off as a police officer.
Yep.
And I was a millionaire before I knew it, and was still working as a police officer as a millionaire. Then he eventually quit his job because I'm guessing he was losing money because he wasn't able to put full time into
But you know though,
what he was doing.
He uses ecosystem.
Yes.
The police force was an ecosystem.
Yes. And
Right.
and he even watching his interview on EYL, it made perfect sense.
It did, man.
It made perfect sense as to what he did.
Cops need daycare,
Yep.
and then cops need to buy homes
Yes.
or rent. He was, hey, I could be a cop all day.
I mean, it was him.
Yep.
And then he's like he said, he went to Section 8 because he said Section 8 that's a guaranteed paycheck every single month on time.
Yep.
If it's one person that pays on time, it's the government.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, unless the government shut down. But
But man, they'll never shut down. Just raise the debt.
huh? You said they'll never shut down.
Yeah, I'm saying they don't shut down. What they do? They pass a bill.
It shut down a while ago.
When?
What?
How many years ago?
Last year.
Then they did what? They passed a bill
Eventually, yeah.
and put more money.
Yeah, because we was about to shut down
So
again.
what's gonna happen is when they get ready to shut down again,
Yeah,
they're gonna add more money.
yeah.
That's what we do as Americans. Wow. So the key to this podcast is to be capitalistic.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean, you want to like you said, you're gonna invest in properties. Make sure, for one, you know what you're doing. I mean, there's YouTube videos out there to teach you how
man.
to invest in property.
YouTube make you a lot of money. Just watch YouTube.
Yeah, it tell you what to do. It tell you, it gives you a formula on buying investment properties. Because for one, you don't want to overspend, and for two, you have to make sure you have a great contractor if you're buying a house that needs work. Because if you don't have a good team, then I don't know what to tell you.
Half the battle is having a team, man.
Yes, and even if you go into it with somebody, you got to make sure you go into it with the right person.
Yeah, I know about that.
And you got to make sure everybody has the same intentions and the same motives.
I know about that, man.
Because if everybody don't have the same motives, it ain't gonna work out.
It ain't gonna work, man.
It's not.
All right, so we giving people too much then. We giving too much. Too much. We're gonna come back again. Housing market, houses is always gonna be a hot topic.
Oh yeah, because whether it's going up or down, like Damien said last podcast, is always the right time to buy.
That's right.
Because no matter what you do, if you buy a house now, you can, when the interest rates are high, you can always refinance.
I'm gonna steal that, Damien. It's always right time to buy. I'm gonna steal it. I'm sorry.
I tell my customers, same thing with a real estate agent, bro. Tell it, listen, if you going to jail for murder, you gonna defend yourself?
Why is it always the analogy?
Because it's
a
the perfect analogy for a
It
real
is.
estate agent. They do more. There's so much they do that you just don't know.
Yeah, man.
There's so much that goes into those
Why you
contracts.
gotta equate the murder, man?
Because everybody knows somebody, whether from a
Hey,
murder
hold
show.
on, time out. We ain't gonna talk about murder. All right, let's kill to the next thing.
But that is, I mean, it is a good analogy. But you do need, like Damien said, there is, as being a real estate agent, I can't tell you there is a whole lot that goes on behind the scenes.
You want me to use the analogy with a doctor next time?
Yeah, let's do doctors. Somebody else. I don't know. You talking about murders?
But there's a whole lot that goes on behind the scene that people don't see that that really takes a lot of stress off of the consumer or the buyer or the seller.
Yes.
So definitely get your real estate agent. If you know one, make sure you use them. They're definitely a big help.
And man, don't give me all them fine details. Just give me like the top line stuff. Like last time, man, it was everything. Like, no, don't call me with that, man. I don't hear that. You know?
I gotta let you know what's going on.
That's true. That's true.
But we gave you a lot of good information today.
Yes.
Like we always tell y'all, anything y'all want us to talk about, any questions y'all have, put them in the comments. We're happy to answer your questions. We're happy to go over any questions you may have. We're happy to bring people on that that are experts in the field.
That's right.
Jamal King, if you see this,
you see this,
I want to be on that episode.
we gonna definitely have to have you on, man. You in Charlotte area, we gotta get you on the podcast.
Hey, we down for a Zoom too.
That's right, Zoom.
Zoom,
Whatever you got.
whatever you use, we down for
That's
it.
right.
We like to get it. Obviously, you seem like an expert in the field.
He is an expert in the field.
So we definitely would love to have that experience.
That's right.
So like we always tell y'all, when we do these podcasts, this is more than a podcast. We handing out crowns.
Hand them out.
Hand them out.
Who the love and who the hate? Who the realest in my circle? Who the one who be the snakes? Who gon' fold up under pressure? Who gon' understand the stakes? Who gon' wait to get they food to try to take from off my plate? Who the love? Who gon' understand I'm hurt? Who gon' love me unconditionally and try to make it work? Who gon' party once I'm gone and shed a tear once I'm in dirt? I ain't asking for too much, I'm trying